Everybody, welcome. Welcome to yoga. I'm excited that you're here. I feel like it's been weeks, more than just a week, 2 weeks since I got to share some space with you and to share a yoga practice with you. So I'm looking forward to this. This is the month of freedom, and I hope that you get a chance to listen to the meditation link. It's not so much a meditation this week, but more a inner reflection. And I think it's a perfect dovetail to the idea of freedom and making sure that we are in charge of taking the armor off of our heart and allowing ourselves to be free to be who we are, but also that concept of the cage, that sometimes we put ourselves in the cage and all we got to do is open the door and we're free to fly, but we tend to stay within the safety of those walls, even if it's not the best decision for us. So I want to continue on that theme today in today's practice and really talk about what goes through our mind, especially when we're on the mat, and is what we have going on in our head in alignment with who we want to be, and the freedom that it could result in if we were able to choose differently, if we were to create a new habit, if we were to catch ourselves in that moment and be able to come back to self-love. So a couple things I want to start with. Today's practice is going to be lengthening and opening. So prepare for that. We're going to move mindfully today. I don't want to get too fast in our sequences. I want you to really feel it and be willing to be more on that inward journey as we move through our body through the practice. I know that many of you have said that it's challenging to have a home practice, and I totally get it. It is challenging. There's a deeper commitment that has to happen, even deeper than showing up at a gym or a studio to take a class. I think carving out the time for you is really hard, but it goes back to the question, is what I'm about to say yes to going to create the life I want? So if yoga is something that you want to have in your life, then you say yes to it and not yes to zoning out in television or getting sucked into a novel. Like, there's plenty of time for that. But there's also time to really do that inward journey through the practice of yoga. We're going to go ahead and start in child's pose today. So come to all fours, and then when you get yourself onto all fours, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, go ahead and sink your hips way back. I like to open my knees here and allow space for my heart and my belly to just sort of sink back towards the ground or the floor or the earth. If you're outside practicing, that's awesome. So go ahead and make your way to child's pose. I'm going to turn off my video, as I always do, because I want you to have an inward exploration of you on the mat and not me on the mat. So I'll be turning off my video and I'll catch up with you at the very end. Perfect. Go ahead and get comfortable on your mat. And then just start to set that intention for yourself. A couple of intentions. One is that give yourself permission to be exactly who you are right in this very breath. Give yourself permission. And then set the intention that everything that's in your world right now that is not pure and loving and beautiful, just allow it to be outside your yoga mat space. I like to imagine that my mat is my sacred space. Nothing can come into that space that doesn't serve my greatest good. You might even in your mind visualize drawing a circle around your mat saying, that's the boundary I have for the next 45, 50 minutes. If you have been practicing me for some time, you know that I am a big advocate for speaking your truth and owning your truth and really not being afraid to stand tall in your truth and speak your most inner truth. And sometimes that requires us to be really brave. And it sometimes as a result, people don't necessarily want to hear our truth, but it serves us well. So for this idea of creating the life you want and eliminating habits, just right now, within just a couple moments of our practice, have you already gone into the habit of future thinking of how long is the practice going to be? What am I going to do after the practice? Pull yourself back and breathe. One of the questions to ask yourself as you go deeper into this idea of creating your life is, how can I embody the most authentic version of myself? How can I embody the most authentic version of myself? And is what I'm about to do going to create the life I want? So having that future conversation with yourself about all the things you need to do after you practice, is that creating practice that you want? If your answer to that question is connected to a deep fulfillment for your soul, then of course you say yes. So what I'm about to do going to create the life I want. If you are engaging for reasons that drag you away from your inner peace or your inner goodness, then the answer is a no. It requires you to be fearlessly honest about your motivation and your beliefs that are fueling your action. Think about that. And just soak that in for a moment. We're going to come back to that throughout the practice. Just come back. Now start to rise up to all fours. And you might have to tap out your feet and just get a little circulation going through your lower limbs. And go ahead and turn your head and look over your right shoulder. Notice that your spine creates this beautiful C shape. Your hips are to the left, your eyes are to the right, but they're closed. And now come back through center, through that neutral tabletop. Shift the hips slightly to the right and look over your left shoulder. And then come back to center. Beautiful. Try that again. Hips to the left, look right, take a breath. And then when you exhale, come back to neutral. Inhale, look to the left, hips to the right. Exhale back to neutral. Take a few more of those, just going side to side. Starting to wake up the side body here. Nice. And then we'll come back to a neutral tabletop. We're going to push the heart forward and just allow the nose to draw up towards your ceiling. Just feel that. And we're going to link the breath here in a moment, but first just start to feel it. And then push against the floor and round your spine, really round. Tuck your chin and feel that space between your shoulder blades. And now let's link the breath. You'll inhale, push your heart forward and lift your nose. And then just right away roll into your exhale by pushing against the floor, arching your spine like a cat, and then move right back into the inhale. Lift your heart, lift your nose, and exhale, round over. And so we just find our own rhythm here. This is where we get to become that truth. If your breath is slower than mine, that's perfect. If it's faster than mine, that's perfect. But you allow yourself to find that ownership on the mat. Just listening to the inner whisperings of what your soul speaks on the mat. And the minute it goes outside of your truth, pull it right back. Take just a couple more of those. Now go ahead and come back to a neutral tabletop. And now we're going to take our right elbow up towards the ceiling. So we just rotate our heart to the right, slight twist. And maybe you stay just like that. If you want a little bit more, your right arm will reach up, fingertips towards the sky, and we really feel this opening here. It's a nice twist. You'll take a breath in, and then just return your right hand back to the mat, reset in tabletop. Let's try that on the left. Left elbow to start to rotate the heart to the left, feel the twist. Maybe stay here if that is your truth. If you want a little bit more, take your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Really expand, really reach. Take a full breath in. And then return your left hand to the mat, reset. Maybe take a cat and cow, push against the floor, and then lift your heart. Maybe do what something feels good. Maybe you liked the side bends. And then we're gonna take that twist one more time. When you inhale, right elbow or right fingertips, reach up to the sky. And then when you exhale, lower the right hand all the way to the mat. Take a breath in table just to reset. And then your next inhale, left elbow or left fingers reach. And when you exhale, left hand comes down. Maybe take a cat and cow, do what feels good, maybe a side bend. And then sink your hips back to child's pose. I mentioned to you a few videos ago the importance of moving your spine in 6 directions, and we just achieved that. We did the side bends to start, and then we did flexion and extension, and then we finished with twists. So really important to get all 6 directions into the spine throughout the practice, throughout the day. Just taking a few of those motions every day can bring a lot of health to the body. Go ahead and rise up to all fours. And then tuck your toes and bring your hips up and back like that upside down V shape. We call it downward facing dog. And then begin to pedal out your feet here. So we walk our dog and really find movement here. The heel drops, maybe kisses the mat, opposite knee bends, and we just walk it out. Nice. We're going to come into a short little vinyasa here just to warm up the body a little bit more and find that connection to our breath. So settle here in down dog. Just feel this for a moment. And now go ahead and inhale and drop your knees back to the mat, all fours. When you exhale, drop your hips back to your heels, a long child's pose. Then you will inhale, rise to all fours. Tuck your beautiful toes and exhale, down dog, upside down V. Inhale, drop your knees. Exhale, child's pose. Really reach the hips to the heels. Inhale, roll up to tabletop. Tuck your beautiful toes and exhale, downward facing dog. Try it again. Drop your knees, take a breath. Sink back, breathe out. Rise up and take a breath. Tuck your toes and push the hips up and back. 2 more times on your own. Just feel this rhythm that you create. Nice and slow, no need to rush. And after that second one, take a few breaths in downward facing dog, and we're going to begin to find that sequence of motion and breath in one. Begin to take your eyes towards the top of your mat today, and you'll walk your feet until they get to the top. Take as many steps as you can. There's no need to hop or jump at this point. Just enjoy the journey, as life often does. And then when you get to your forward fold, just stay here. Let your upper body drape over your legs. When we think about this journey of life, I love to take a lot of steps from my down dog up to the top of the mat because it's such a symbol for life. You know, we can't jump from being a certain age and just transport over the season of our life to get there. There's things we must learn along the way. There's things that we have to go through along the way. And anything that we are striving for, their stepping stones. So I love the symbolism of taking deliberate steps from down dog to the top of my mat. Take a halfway lift here. You'll breathe and maybe even look forward. And then go ahead and fold extra deep. Try that again. Take a big breath in. And then fold. You'll do one more just like that. And then you'll fold, fold, and fold. Begin to come up to stand slowly. When you get to the very top, the shoulders will drip down your back and you'll exhale. Find some strength here in your mountain pose. Just leave your arms down by your side to start. Notice the rhythm of your breath. Remember the question. How can I embody the most authentic version of myself? We put on this armor. We play the roles. But all that does is keep us from truly being free to be who we are. And when we can embody the most authentic version of ourselves, we often find that freedom, and we often then create habits that fulfill that greatest version. And when we start to develop a new way of being, we can see that what I'm about to do is going to create the life I want. Not the life I was told I needed to have, not the one that I'm in where I'm being pulled to be someone that I'm not. Take your arms above your head. It's a huge mountain pose. Look up towards your fingers. And now start to draw a short line on the ceiling and reaching back, elevating your heart, big extension here. Find length again, straighten your spine. And then when you exhale, forward fold. We'll take a halfway lift here, breathe, and then a forward fold. We're gonna reach up and rise up with some power and intention here. Arms stay high. When you exhale, draw a line on your ceiling, maybe bigger. Lift your heart, exhale, feel the back bend. Come back to a straight spine and dive forward over your legs into a fold. We're gonna do that 2 more times. You'll come up halfway. You'll fold really deep and let go. And then with power and grace, you will reach and rise. When you exhale, draw a line on the ceiling, maybe bigger, take the back bend. Come back to center, reaching and then folding over your legs. One more time, take a halfway lift and then a fold. Reach and rise, big breath in. Draw a line on the ceiling, exhale, lift your heart. Come back to center and forward folds. Stay in the fold here and then plant your hands, step your right foot way back. We'll stay low. The first time through, we go really slow and just allow our bodies to kind of feel where we're at. You might drop your knee to the ground. You might not. So right leg is back, left knee is bent. Maybe your right knee lowers. It's totally up to you. Leave your right hand on the mat and begin to lift your left arm, much like we did in that tabletop position where we start maybe with the elbow and then extend left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Your heart is reaching towards that bent left knee. It's a beautiful version of what we call dragonfly twist. And then you'll take a big breath in. You'll bring your left hand onto the outside of your left foot. Tuck your right toes under if they're not already tucked. So the right leg becomes straight, the knee comes off, and your next breath in, arms go high. So we settle into this, what we call crescent lunge. Really push through the heel of the right foot as you sink into the left leg. But then we don't want to forget about the back leg, the right leg. So even maybe tuck your tailbone under and shift your weight back just a little bit. Play with the adjustments a little bit here. If your left knee hurts, don't go as low. There's that truth. Beautiful. And we're going to come into my favorite transition here. This is a beautiful way to sort of flow through things, really start to feel connected to your body. You'll take a big breath in here. And then when you exhale, sweep your arms back. Okay, and so the heart's squeezing forward, your body's in a diagonal line, and you're leaning over the left knee. So keep pushing through the right heel. Arms are back, fingertips are spread wide. It's like almost like we're getting ready to take flight, but we won't. Beautiful. Now reach your right hand forward. Right hand goes forward as if you're trying to reach across the room. Really feel that. Now here's where the transition that feels good, feels great, feels better than good. It feels great when you get it. Here we go. Take your right hand up. Begin to spin your right foot so it plugs into the mat. Keep your right arm going, going, going all the way back. Notice your left arm wants to rise. And here you are in a peaceful warrior. So the left arm is up and over your head as the right hand drapes down your back leg, which is your right leg. So peaceful warrior. Beautiful. Now take a long breath in. Cartwheel your arms back to the mat. Frame your left foot. Pivot your right foot so that you're back on that ball mount joint in that low lunge. And then begin to shift forward just a little bit into the left leg. Nice. And now your next inhale, your right leg goes up to the sky in a standing split. Beautiful. We're going to play with standing split here. Just this first time, really get an opening and an extension here. Tuck your left cheek underneath you as you begin to rotate the right hip up. Just feel that opening. Beautiful. And now as you close your right hip, bring your right foot to meet your left. You're back in the folds and you'll breathe. So starting to feel here. Take a halfway lift and a forward fold. Reach and rise. A long breath in. Draw a line on the ceiling. Breathe out. Take the back bend. Come back to neutral. You'll breathe. And then you'll forward fold over your legs. Let's try the left leg. Step it way, way, way back. Stay low first. Remember, we have that dragonfly twist. Don't rush this. If you would prefer to, you can drop your left knee to the mat. But if not, stay on that ball mount joint. Really push through the heel. Right knee is bent. Keep your left hand on the mat and begin to lift your right arm up as you turn your heart towards your bent right leg. Perfect. Take a long breath in. Return your right hand to the outside of your right foot and frame it. When you're ready, draw your belly in and bring your arms above your head. We're in crescent lunge. So we start to get organized here. We start to feel what our body is in the shape. And here's where that truth comes in. And we start to listen to the language our body speaks. And we start to say, hey, I'm feeling a little bit spicy and strong today. I'm going to sink real deep into my right leg and really engage. Or, hey, I'm feeling a little bit low energy today. Or maybe my knee hurts. I'm going to back off just a little bit. I'm going to be the truth. I'm going to embody the truth. I'm not going to get ahead of myself here. Nice. You'll take a breath in and now lean forward and sweep your arms back. Squeeze your shoulder blades so that your heart leads the way. A beautiful bright light shining forward. This side, your left hand reaches forward. So whichever leg is to the back, that arm reaches forward. And the right hand stays back, and we really find this beautiful length here. Take a peek at your left hand. And then begin to draw it up as your back foot plugs down into the mat. Keep going with your left arm. Notice your right arm wants to follow like arms of a clock. Right hand goes high. You're in peaceful warrior. It's a really long breath in. First time through, we stay and experience each segment of this series, a few breath cycles. And then you will take a breath in and cartwheel your arms all the way back to the mat. Frame your right foot. And find that low lunge again. Begin to push forward into your right foot as your left leg lifts up in a standing split. This time the right cheek will tuck under as the left hip rises up. Again, that little tiny rotation. Take a big breath in. And when you exhale, bring your left foot to meet your right. That is our sequence today. So we're going to try to take it one breath, one movement. I'll guide you through it. But remember, breathe when you need to breathe. It is your practice. It is your truth. Just take note of where the mind wants to go here and call it back. Take a halfway lift. And then a deep forward fold. Reach and rise, big breath in. Draw a line on your ceiling, breathe out. Come back to neutral, breathe in. And breathe out as you fold. Your right foot will step way back and get organized. The next time you breathe, bring your torso up and then sink on your exhale. Get a little longer through your upper body on your inhale. And when you exhale, sweep your arms back like that airplane. Right arm, it's big. Start to reach it forward and take it all the way up to the ceiling. Plug your back foot in, left arm follows. It's a huge breath in. And then you exhale, cartwheel your arms back to the mat, frame your left foot. Inhale, right leg lifts, standing split. Exhale, they come together and you fold. Take a breath. Let's try it on the other side. A halfway lift to reset the body. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach and rise. Big dynamic breath. Exhale, take your back bend. Nice. Find length on your inhale, straight spine. And then exhale, forward fold. Left foot this time steps way back. We take a breath and then we get organized. And then you inhale and come up, all the way up. Beautiful. Settle on your exhale. Take a breath in and sweep your arms way back. Here's the big inhale, left arm. Reach it forward like Superman, but draw it all the way up and around like a clock. Right hand will follow. It'll reach up and over. And your big exhale takes your hands back to the mat. You frame the front foot. Inhale, lift the back leg. Breathe. Exhale, forward fold. Stay right there. Stay right there. So we're going to take it a few more times. I'll guide you through it. We're going to come back to the dragonfly. I purposely omitted it out of the flow because we're going to come back to it and I want you to really feel it in a dynamic way and not just move through it quickly. So we're just going to come to this basic sequence 2 more times. I'll guide you. If you know where to go, feel free to take it. And then we're going to slow down our practice and find a whole bunch of space and play a little bit with our truth. Take a halfway lift and a forward fold. You will inhale, reach and rise. Exhale, reach back. Inhale back to center. Exhale, forward fold. Step back on your inhale with your right foot. Settle here, get organized. And on your next in-breath, come all the way up into that low lunge. Crescent lunge, yeah. And then sink on your exhale. Take a breath in. Reach your arms back like you're taking flight. Here's the big inhale. Right arm, draw it forward. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Circle it all the way up and around. Your left arm will follow. Peaceful warrior, reverse warrior. Exhale all the way back to the mat. You will inhale, right leg goes high. Exhale, forward fold. Take a breath. Find a halfway lift. Breathe. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach and rise. Exhale, draw a line on the ceiling, breathe out, take the back bend. Come back to a straight spine, breathe. Exhale, dive over your legs. Left foot this time, step it way back, take a breath. Get organized on your exhale. And when you inhale, bring the arms high, high, high. It's that crescent lunge. Sink on your exhale. Take another breath in, maybe get longer through the upper body. And when you exhale, sweep your arms back. Here's your big inhale. Left arm, reach it forward. Sweep it up like the arms of a clock. Your right hand will follow. Keep breathing. And now exhale, cartwheel your arms back to the mat. Shift forward, left leg lifts. Exhale, you fold. One more time, take a halfway lift. And a fold. Get dynamic here. Breathe in, reach up, reach up, reach up. Exhale, draw a line back. Come back to center and forward fold. Right foot steps back. When you inhale, bring your arms up high. Settle on your exhale. Take a breath. Reach your arms back like you're taking flight. Here it is, right arm, reach it forward. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Circle it like a clock. Left arm goes high, it follows. Exhale, hands back to the mat. When you inhale, right leg lifts, standing split. Exhale, feet together. Let's keep going. Take a halfway lift and a forward fold. Reach and rise, big breath in. Draw a line on the ceiling, back. Straighten your spine. Fold. Left foot steps back. When you're ready, come to the crescent lunge. Sweep your arms way back. Heart goes forward. Here's the big breath. Left arm, circle it, circle it, circle it. Right arm will follow. And then when you exhale, cartwheel your arms back to the mat. On your inhale, left leg lifts. And exhale, feet together. And we stay. And we breathe. Is what I'm about to do going to create the life that I want? If your answer is connected to deep fulfillment, then you say yes. If you are engaging for reasons that drag you away from your inner peace, then you say no. We must become fearlessly honest about our motivation and the beliefs that we have that are fueling our action. Separate your feet just a little bit wider and continue to stay in the fold. Think of it this way. Perhaps it's important to you to eat healthier. And here you are faced with something that might be considered to be not healthy. Is what I'm about to do going to create the life I want? If your answer is connected to deep fulfillment, then you say yes. Maybe it is your favorite recipe somebody made for you. If that gives you deep fulfillment, then you say yes with no shame. If it's mindlessly eating a bag of potato chips, that's probably dragging you away from your inner peace because that's not creating the life you want. It's a simple example, and it might be silly, but those tangible, real examples can plant the seeds for some of the deeper inner workings that we have that we're faced with. Begin to walk your feet back so they're not so wide. Take a halfway lift, a fold, and go ahead and rebuild your spine slowly. When you get to the top, you'll exhale and maybe even close your eyes. Starting to feel sensation here as we slow down our practice. Arms will go high to the sky. Reach over and grab your left wrist. And then even pull your left arm a little bit longer up towards the ceiling. And then reach it up and over. So your head is basically cradled between your straight arms. And then take your right hip. It tends to want to reach to the back. Take your right hip point and push it forward so that you're really between two sheets of glass here. Not leaning forward, not leaning back. Take a breath. Maybe pull even more, side bend to the right. And then come back up to center. Switch hands, grab your right wrist and pull your right arm long. And then up and over. Feel that. And then come back to center and fold over your legs. You'll take a halfway lift and a fold. Right foot steps back, stay low here. Plant your right hands Begin to rotate your heart to the bent left knee as your left arm goes high. It's that dragonfly twist. We're going to play here a little bit. Every time you inhale, see if you can reach a little bit higher. And every time you exhale, see if you can rotate the heart up towards the ceiling. So we have this huge opening. The left arm starts to reach up and over. Just really feel that. You'll take 3 breath cycles here, getting long through your inhale and spinning your heart up on your exhale. Beautiful. Now, re-straighten, left arm goes high. And when you exhale, bring your left hand all the way down to the mat. And then just pivot on your heels so that you're turning towards the long edge of your mat. Your toes are forward, heels are back. So you're in a wide forward fold here. And then walk your heels in just at an angle. Peel your body up slow. So you're facing the longer edge of your mat. Toes are out, heels are in. Take your arms out to a T shape. Palms face up. Notice that slight adjustment with the palms elevates the heart. And now bend your knees and come into a really deep squat here. See if you can tuck your tailbone under to make sure that you continue to have space in your lumbar spine. We're not crunching or compression, just feeling space there. Nice. Arms stay wide to a T, palm face up. Maybe close your eyes. And see if you can go just an inch lower in your legs. Just feel that deepening here. So you're going to be challenged here with your truth. Maybe this is your truth. How free would it be to listen to your own body versus my voice to know how far to go? Maybe you drop, maybe you don't. Listen to your truth here. Maybe you drop again, maybe you stay. Beautiful. Keep pulling yourself back into the truth, how you want to show up on the mat today. Maybe you drop even more, maybe you don't. You listen to the language your body speaks. Maybe you drop, maybe you don't. Take one more breath cycle here. And now begin to straighten your legs and rise. Turn your left toes behind you back to the back of your mat. Bend your left knee and pivot on your heel there. You're on the ball mount joint of your right foot, left knee is bent. We're back in a lunge. Go ahead and float your hands down. We take that same dragonfly twist. So the left arm goes high as we turn towards the bent left leg that's now at the back of the mat. And we take 3 breaths here and really opening the heart. Every inhale, get a little longer. Every exhale, spin a little deeper. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Lower your left hand. Shift your eyes forward and step your right foot to meet your left. At the back of the mat, you're in a fold. Think about this. Think about how many times we come to the mat and we have a habit of only facing one direction, because that's our habit. What if we created something different? What if we paved a new way? Beautiful. Facing the back of your mat, begin to reach and rise. Grab your left arm, pull it up and over. Come back to center, grab your right arm, pull it up and over. Come back to center and forward fold. Our left foot this time is going to step way back. The left hand will stay, and we take the dragonfly twist to the opposite side. So the right arm is high. Every inhale we get longer. Every exhale we spin. Take 3 breaths here. Now begin to lower your right hand and pivot on your heels to the other long edge of your mat. Wide forward fold. When the heels come in, the toes stay out. You rebuild your spine coming up to stand. Arms go wide as they can, shaped like a T, palms face up. Now we bend our knees again. Keep your arms wide. If your arms are tired, they can come down by your side, so that's your truth perhaps. And then we sink a little bit more. We find what feels best for us. If our habit is to take it easy, can your habit become taking it a little bit harder? If your habit is to push your body to the extreme, can you find a habit to ease back? Maybe you drop. Maybe you drop. Maybe you drop. And now you rise. And you turn your right toes towards the front of your mat. Left toes towards the front of your mat. You come around and you find a lunge. Beautiful. And now float your arms down. Find that dragonfly twist here. Twist towards the bent knee. Open up. It's our last big extension here. See if you can really find space in your heart. Take one more breath cycle. And now go ahead and lower the hand to the mat. Step your back foot to meet your right. You'll be in a fold at the very top of your mat. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Begin to come up to stand. Close your eyes when you get there. How can I embody the most authentic version of myself? Is what I'm about to do going to create the life I want? Powerful questions of freedom. Do we go through the motions of our life, habit by habit by habit, pattern by pattern by pattern? Or do we speak and become our truth? Something to think about. Bring your hands to your heart center. Let the palms connect. Shift the weight into your left foot. Lift your right leg up. Open up your eyes. So the right knee is in front. It's high. Keep your hands at your heart here. We're going to find warrior 3. Begin to shoot your right leg behind you. Keep it off the mat. Become parallel to the floor. I like to keep my hands at my heart center. It takes the pressure out of the back. Eyes are down, looking at your left toe. Right leg is as high as it can be. Allow yourself to wobble. In those moments you wobble, look at your thoughts. Are they creating the life you want? Take one more breath. Bring your feet together, stand tall, and close your eyes. Take that to the other side. Open your eyes, shift the weight to your right foot, left knee lifts. And then begin to hinge forward, parallel to the floor. Eyes go to your right toe, left leg goes long. Wobble. Allow yourself to observe your thoughts. Bring your feet together, stand tall, and close your eyes. Keep your hands sealed at your heart center. Walk your feet as wide as your mat, toes off, heels in. And begin to slide down into that beautiful yogi squat. Tailbones reaching towards the floor, elbows around the insides of the legs. Maybe we might even push the elbows to allow the hips to open, open, open. And we breathe. Now go ahead and lower your bum all the way to the mat. Bring your hands behind you for support. Sitting tall, straighten your legs out in front of you. Maybe shake them out just a bit. Legs are straight, spine is tall. You're in the shape of the letter L. Perfect. Reach your arms high. Maybe bend your knees if you need that support for your low back. Hinge at your hips. Begin to reach your fingers towards your toes. Maybe they only reach your knees. Is that your truth? Maybe the ankles. I say a lot in my classes that nothing magical happens. There's no confetti that falls from the heavens if your fingers touch your toes. So wherever they fall is your truth. Tuck your chin and round your spine. Breathe. And breathe. Beautiful. Let go. And now begin to peel your spine up so slow and just melt your body onto your mat. Come all the way down. Draw your knees into your chest. We've not yet been on our back. So roll a little bit along the low back, your hips. Maybe take your knees wide, wide, wide. Yeah. And now draw your knees together and tee out your arms. Palm face up again. Find that space through your heart. Take a breath in. Drop your knees over to the left. And then come back up to center and drop your knees over to the right. And just feel that. Beautiful. Come back to center. Drop your feet to the mat. Allow your knees to open. Soles of your feet touch. We have arrived. You might keep your arms teed out. You might find a hand against your heart, a powerful reminder of your truth, your goodness. Eyes start to close. And when we learn to embody that beautiful, authentic version of who we are, we start to see the habits that are unhealthy for us. We start to see the unconscious living. We start to create new habits, to truly come into our own, to find that authentic self. And so the powerful question is, how can I embody the most authentic version of myself? And is what I'm about to do going to create the life I want and deserve? And so that freedom that we've been talking about all month comes from us choosing. We get to choose what we think, what we say, what we do. We get to choose our reactions or our responses. We get to choose our boundaries and pushing away negativity and drawing in people that bring us light and love and goodness. We get to choose that. That is freedom. So you may continue to stay on your mat as long as you'd like, contemplating this idea of creating new habits that will embody your most authentic self. As always, I'm so deeply honored, so deeply grateful that you choose to say yes with me. Continue to practice, become the best version of yourself that you can be. I truly believe when we show up on the mat, we do make a difference in the world, and the difference is powerful. So continue to practice. I'm so grateful. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Come back to that question, listen to the meditation, and I'll see you all really soon.